Hey, you're listening to the Smoke Meat Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Pittman. We're sponsored today by Joe's Underground in Augusta, Georgia. Right now, Joe's is doing the thing that everybody that should be doing right now. They're closed for the pandemic. They want to see everybody, but they don't want to get everybody sick at the same time. But they do have some swag and T-shirts and stuff on sale on their Facebook page. Go check that out, Joe's Underground. They're located at the corner of 8th and Broad in Augusta, Georgia, in the bottom of the Lamar building. And I'm looking forward to being able to go back, have a good time with Jeremy and the whole gang. Great food, great drink specials, just a great atmosphere. Remember, I goes to Joe's and so should you as soon as this thing's over. Hey everybody, you're listening to the Smoke Meat Podcast. Today my guest is going to be Tammy Smith. She's the founder of the TGIT movement. And I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about that. So, without further ado, how you doing, Tammy?
Hey, Brad, I'm doing wonderful. And can I just say that I was so excited that I finally got to do an interview with Brad Pittman.
I tell everybody I'm Brad Pitt, but I'm the man.
I know. I mean, I love it because, honestly, I'm just being 1,000% honest. You know how they're like, who's your celebrity crush? Brad Pitt is the man.
He is my celebrity crush.
He is my celebrity crush. So if I ever meet him, he's off the market. He is mine. But yeah, so I was like, oh, I finally get to talk to Brad Pitt. And then I was like, man, we had such a fun conversation that day when we were introduced, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it
definitely.
Was great.
I watched Legends of the Fall last night, as a matter of fact.
That is one of my most favorite movies ever.
It's on Prime right now.
Oh my gosh. Well, I guess I'll have to watch that tonight.
Yeah.
I love the music in it, and everything about that movie is incredible. And I bet I've seen it 1,000 times and I still cry every time.
Oh yeah, it's funny. Me and my wife are total opposites on movies because in most relationships, the guys want action movies and all this, and
yeah,
the women want the dramas and that stuff. And it's the other way around. My wife loves action movies. She'll watch The Expendables over and over if you let her, and I'll watch stuff like that.
Oh, I like it all. I'm kind of different. I guess because of everything I've gone through, I don't lock myself into any kind of one thing anymore at all. I've changed everything. And that's part of my story. So we'll talk about that.
All right. Outstanding. Well, tell us a little bit about TGIT.
All right. Well, it was started, it's just like a positivity, inspirational, really it's a vlog, it's a video vlog, and I do that on Facebook. So it's based on my Facebook fan page, which is Tammy, and that's spelled Tammy, so you can find me there. And that's where they are. But it all started on Facebook, and a little bit of a backstory so you can know where it was born from, because I do call it my baby. It's my baby.
Mm-hmm.
The way that it all started was it just evolved out of a situation that I went through. I had a near-death experience last year, and I almost died. And truly, my entire life, everything in my life changed in one 24-hour period. In one day, I woke up and everything was different the next day. And, when you face death, it really changes you. I mean, I looked death in the face and I survived. And my whole mentality, everything changed. I knew that next day that God had saved me and that I was here for a reason, because I shouldn't have been here after, that experience, that traumatic event. But I knew without a doubt then that I was here and that God had a plan for my life. And so I just honestly went into this total different mentality of not taking anything for granted. I mean, when I woke up, I was just so grateful I could breathe. I could, just be alive, that I could, see the sky. Just everything became so, and I know that sounds cliche, Brad. I know that sounds really silly, oh, she's happy that the sky is blue. Yeah, I am.
I understand.
I mean, oh, you're happy that it's raining. Yeah, I am, because I get to walk out in the rain. And I've actually, since that time, I used to hate rain. And now, since that experience, I'll walk out and I'll stand in the rain and let the raindrops fall on my face and just love them. I mean, it's just amazing how something like that, it takes something like that a lot of times to make you appreciate something and appreciate everything, which is what I do now. And it was a very difficult situation, and I'm still not completely out of the transition that I'm going through. But I decided, to take every bit of what I was going through and to help other people with it. I was like, I woke up one day and I was like, my pain, everything I've gone through will not be in vain. I cannot let this go to waste. I can't. I have to use every bit of this and turn it into a positive. And I did a vlog about this the other day. Everybody has a choice. Some people, can't, gather that strength and take it and make it positive. Some people, get really down, and some people struggle harder than others and have depression and anxiety. And I did have all those things from that experience. Of course, I had PTSD and anxiety and all kinds of things that I've had to work through for many, many months. But it's still a choice. I choose to work through those things and become better every day because of the situation. And then while I'm going through it, that's when I started doing the videos. I got on Facebook Live and started just sharing my heart with people because I realized, hey, I'm not the only person out there that's gone through this. I'm not the only person that's faced death and lived. I'm not the only person that, has PTSD. I'm not the only one. People are out there that are hurting, that are alone, just like I feel alone. And so I was like, I just want to help somebody. I don't want to just, know that they're out there and not do anything about it. I want to help. And so one day I was actually working out, which is a very healthy outlet, especially when you go through a lot of stress and anxiety and things like that. It's been a wonderful outlet for me to help me because I have been, a stay-at-home mom for so many years. I didn't have a job or friendships or things like that could help me pull me out of that, dark place.
Yeah.
So working out was a big part of that outlet for me.
I tell you, I
And
joined the gym about 3 years ago,
uh-huh.
and I hadn't really seen a lot of results. I'm actually fixing to go up there and find out what's going on.
You know what? Did you actually go to it though?
Well, I'm gonna go to find that out, though.
Yeah. You joined? Yeah, but I got you. I knew what you were saying. I got you. And you know what? I mean, I used to always, be like, oh, I really wish I could work out at the gym. I just work out at home. And now everybody that's at the gym, they're like, wow, you work out at home. You never missed a beat. And so I'm like, that's right. Everything seemed to work out for the good in the end for me. So I'm very grateful for that too.
Mm-hmm.
So I was working out one morning and it was a Friday and I was like, TGIF, thank God it's Friday. And I just stopped right there and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. TGIF? I was like, no, that's just messed up. It should not be TGIF. Everybody waits for Friday to be grateful. It should be, thank God it's today, TGIT, because I almost didn't have Friday. And a lot of people won't have this Friday. So we should wake up every day and not take it for granted. And that's where TGIT came from. That's my baby. And that's exactly how it happened. I got on my Facebook Live and shared that with everybody, that whole mentality. And then I just started sharing it every day. And it took off. People resonate with it. They're like, whoa, you're right. We do take things for granted. And we do just think, well, Friday will be here. And, I hate Monday and I love Friday. And people were like, you're right, So thus a little community and a little movement was born. And it's a mentality about not taking anything for granted. And it's just about positivity and loving the moment, because truly, even though we're given today, you don't even know if you'll get to finish the rest of today.
Yeah.
So I truly try, and you know that as well, from your experience. So truly, I try to embrace every single moment that I have. Like, here's right now, I was just finishing my workout in the living room, and I had my little AirPods in, and I finished, doing like, some squats, and a great song came on, and I just completely stopped and started dancing right there, just broke it down. And my 12-year-old daughter's at the kitchen table, and she's doing like some schoolwork, and she just looks over at me and she's just shaking her head, and she's like, "Are you having fun, Mom?" And I said, "You know I am. That was a great song, girl. I'm going to dance it out." And she was laughing. So she got up and she came over there and said, "Let me show you how to do it." So she comes over and we're both dancing in the living room. And that is exactly how I live. And that's what TGIT is. We had a moment, my 12-year-old and I had a dance off right there in the living room, and we just enjoyed that moment. And I try to do that every single day. Like, just whatever that moment is, just stop and embrace it, create a moment, create a memory. And hopefully she'll always remember that. I remember my mom and I just like shaking our butts and dancing in the living room, just like, that's it. Like, embrace the moment, because I created a moment with her. We had that special moment together.
And
And so
that song is always going to be one now because music has such powerful things to give you memories.
you
I,
are so right.
I can't tell
You
you
are,
what I was doing in 1980, but you can name a song from 1980 and I can tell you where I was when I listened to it or what I did.
I know music is so powerful. I have a very special song like that. I love the band Boston.
Who don't?
And oh, I love Boston. They're my most favorite band ever.
Nice.
And whenever I was a little girl, a teenager, I had this little card that I wanted. My dad sold cars, and it was a little, uh, what were they called? A Fiero? Do you remember
Oh, I
those?
remember the Fiero. Budget
Yes.
Corvette.
And it was a little white one, and I wanted it so bad. And he was like, "I can't let you have that baby doll." He called me baby doll.
Mm.
And I was like, "Daddy, I love it." And he was like, "They're just, they're not built for an accident. Like, if somebody hits you, they could take you away from me. So I'll let you drive it real quick and we'll take it for quite a spin, but I just can't let you drive that like all the time." So he's like, "Hop in the driver's seat." So we get in, and they had those little speakers in the back of the seat. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. I
Like
do.
right there by your head. And so he goes, "Put on your favorite little cassette." And there was like a cassette, and I put Boston in there, and I played the song Hitch a Ride. And so he's like, "Take off this way." We went down the highway, and I'll never forget this. Like, the song was playing, and I was listening to the words, and he reached over and he turned it up really, really loud. And then he took his hand and he pushed my knee and he made me floor it. And so we were flying, and my favorite song by Boston was on. And there I am driving in the sunshine, just going nearly 100 miles an hour down the highway with my daddy. And every time I hear the song Hitch a Ride, it takes me back to that moment.
Nice.
So, yeah, you're right about music. And see, my dad created that moment with me, and I never forgot it.
Mm-hmm.
So I really, love doing things like that with my kids too. That's what I want to do. And that is all part of, the whole mentality of Thank God It's Today and TGIT. And like, I do the vlogs daily. I don't have any kind of curriculum or script or anything like that. I
Mm-hmm.
just kind of feel what I feel in my heart that day, and I don't have a set time or anything. I hop on whenever I feel like it's the right time, and I just share my heart. And it has really touched a lot of lives, which is what my whole goal is. Like, I will always say that for me, it's about touching one single person every day. If I can do that, then I have accomplished my mission. And I cannot tell you the messages that I get where people say, "That was for me today." And, I've gotten messages where people uh, wanted to take their lives and they didn't because of something I may have shared or posted or a vlog that I did. And when I read those, I literally break down and cry like a baby,
Yeah.
because I'm like, wow, my whole thing is, if I look back at all the pain that I had and just and just regretted it and didn't use it for good, those lives would never have been touched. And so I literally have to look back at the pain and the horrible situation that I went through and lived through and have gratitude for it. And that is not an easy thing to do when you went through as much as I did.
Mm.
But because of those people, because of the messages I get, the women, the men, the teenagers, the lives that, they share with me, hey, because of you, you know, I've been touched. I'm just like, wow, thank you, God, for giving me that opportunity. And like, I had a message today, and this man said, I want to tell you something. And I was like, yes, sir. And he was like, I think you touch more people with your smile than you ever even will your words. And I was like, really? And he said, yes. And he said, because so many people they scroll through Facebook and they may not actually listen to a video, or they may not read all of your quotes. But whenever I see that smiling face, it gives me hope and it gives me peace. And he said, and that's not even counting people you encounter daily, like in person, like that you may smile at, that don't ever have love or kindness given to them. And I was like, wow, that really, really touched my heart this morning. And so I was like, okay, I need to post a selfie today because I need to smile because somebody needs it. So it just really, hearing that kind of feedback from my TGIT tribe is what I call them.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really means a lot to me to know that little things like that are actually touching people.
Well,
And
one thing that the piece of advice I give a lot of people who are trying to start podcasting or even anything with
uh-huh.
people, you know, anybody can sit and write something and make it sound rehearsed, but when you put yourself out there and just be you and just you show that side of you, that's when you get the most response out of anything. And like right now, I could be sitting here and just doing this as a standard interview, like, so tell me a bit about yourself, Miss Smith. And
Hmm.
you could say something like, well, that's nice. Where were you born? And nobody's going to listen to more than 10 seconds of this.
Right.
But I
You're
mean,
so
we're just
right.
this is going anywhere we can, and that's what people respond to. So always remember that.
Oh, I am totally transparent. I mean, I can laugh about it now, but like at the moment, like one morning I had dropped my kids off at school, and I had gone through a lot. I had actually been like, attacked by some people, and like literally, like, not physically, but I mean emotionally attacked,
Mm-hmm.
and was under a lot of attack. And some people in my immediate family actually, and I was really hurting. And, God was like, just get on there and do a Facebook Live and talk about it because other people need to know this. Like, they can relate.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't have any makeup on. I haven't even brushed my hair. And God said, did I ask you, have you brushed your hair? Or do you have makeup on? Get on right now. And I was just like, okay. So I did. And so there's the Facebook Live out there with me I haven't even brushed my hair and I don't have makeup on and I have my workout clothes on. So that's how real I am. I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
And
I mean,
that's
I'll pull over at the gas station, the grocery store, wherever. I will not hesitate to just get on there. And if I cry, I cry. If I laugh, I laugh. And I'm going to just tell you this right now, Brad. I hate my laugh. I always say I have the most obnoxious laugh. But it's from like deep in there. And I'll let out this silly, obnoxious laugh. And all these people are like, I think it's hilarious. I love it. And I'm like, I'm so embarrassed. I hate
oh,
that
I've
laugh.
got a mission to make you laugh hard now.
Oh gosh. I'm serious. When I let out this certain laugh, I'm like, oh, I hate it. And everybody's like, oh, I love it. It's so funny. And I'm like, well, if y'all can laugh at me or laugh with me, as long as I make you laugh, that's all that matters.
It's not a big donkey laugh, is it?
No, I don't know what it is. It's a silly, stupid, Tammy, obnoxious laugh. I don't even know. But because because I think it's because there was a period in my life that I was really, really, really sad all the time. I
Mm-hmm.
cried all the time, like every day. And I think because of that now, I have a daily goal to laugh that stupid, obnoxious laugh as much as I can, but I have to do it at least once, that laugh that comes from deep within, and you're just
Hmm.
like, you know what I'm talking about,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh definitely.
Like where you laugh and you have tears coming out.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's because of all the sadness I went through, that every single day I have to do that. I can't go to sleep until I do it.
Hmm.
And so if somebody didn't make me laugh like that, or I didn't see something that made me laugh, I will literally get in my bed at night and I'll go and I'll look for bloopers or just something silly or funny, and until I laugh, that huge crazy laugh. And literally my kids will be like in the hall or down the, in the house somewhere, and come in and go, "Mom, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "I can't help it. I can't help it." And they're like, "Wow, we can't even watch a movie. You're laughing so loud." And I'm like, "Good." So I want them to remember that too. I want them to be like, "You guys, like when I'm going to live to be 120." I always tell them this, and I do believe it. And so I mean, God saved me. He's got big plans.
Yeah.
But I want them to say after I'm gone, "Hey, you guys, do y'all remember when Mom would be in her bedroom and she would be laughing so loud we would have to go close the door?
Oh, they'll
Do
be
y'all
imitating
remember
the
that?"
laugh. Remember when Mom would go,
There it is. You
yep.
got it out of me. I hate that laugh. Oh my gosh. I'm so embarrassed.
Oh
Oh,
man.
but I'm getting tears, Brad. You're doing it. But I'm serious. I love to laugh.
I just
It's
thought
like
of
one
what
of
the
the
laugh reminded me of.
what?
Melissa McCarthy in a
Oh,
in a remade version of Revenge of the Nerds as Gilbert.
really? Oh my gosh. Oh, great. I'm in Revenge of the Nerds. Great,
But that's
great. I'll
Melissa
have to.
McCarthy.
Yeah, true, true. Okay, that's not bad. Oh my gosh. So silly. But yeah, I mean, I literally do. I want to laugh, as much as possible, and just make memories and moments, with my kids. Like I've never been, so at peace. Like we have so much peace in our home, and literally we just enjoy the wonderful moments that we have. And like this quarantine thing,
Mm-hmm.
I took my vlog to a whole new level, the TGIT, thank God it's today.
Mm-hmm.
I used to kind of do a video here and there. I didn't have a set time, or, like, oh, I'll do one a week or this. Like I told you, I just share from my heart. But God really, really, inspired me to, hey, get on there daily. People need the inspiration, and people are alone. Not everybody has their kids with them. Not everybody has children at all, or your children could be grown. And so I get on there, Monday through Friday, and just try to share positivity. And here's a big thing for me, even more than that, is I don't want it to just be me. TGIT is about our tribe. It's about everybody, having that mentality and then sharing it. Because I always say this, I can't touch the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't touch the whole world. None of us can do it alone, but there is strength in numbers. And so if we all have that TGIT mentality, and we go and each of us shares a positive quote or a little Facebook Live or just anything, I always encourage people, if you're a painter, then, show us a painting. If you're a photographer, I would love to see your work. I try to encourage people to share their passion and their love, because people need to see different things from different people,
Mm-hmm.
because what they're going to share would touch people that I may never touch. So I have lots and lots of people, from our little tribe now that are doing their own vlogs and sharing things. And it touches me so much that I'm watching them. I'm watching these people get out there and be positive in the world and touch their families and their cities and their states and their whole Facebook group of people. So it's really amazing, and I'm just honored that God gave it to me and trusted me with such a beautiful thing that we could share, especially during this time of, sadness and people being down and depressed and feeling alone. There couldn't have been a more special time for this little TGIT baby to have been, born and created. I think God's pretty awesome. He knows what he's doing.
Definitely. You may not think he does sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I tell you, when you had your experience, how long did you wrestle with him, or did you?
Oh, of course I did. But before that is when I really, really struggled with it the most.
Hmm.
During the years of the painful situation that I was in, is when I would cry and question him and say, why, you know, why do I have to go through this? Why?
Hmm.
I'm tired of hurting. I've been hurting for so long. Do you know I'm here? Do you see me? Are you there? And so on I've been on every side of it, Brad. I've lived through all of it. And it was only after he saved me that night that then I realized, wow, I'm here for a reason. And that's when it hit me.
Hmm.
Like I had questioned him and I had gone through all of the emotional feelings and things with him up until when he saved me. Because then after that, I was like, wow, now I get it. If I hadn't gone through all of that, I could never ever help anyone.
Yeah.
If my life was butterflies and rainbows, what good could I do? How could I share anything? How could I help somebody that's in the pit if I haven't been down there?
Hmm.
So I got it. Like it was just like everything, became, relative. I was like, I understand now. I went through that and now I can help other people because I've been there.
Hmm.
And I could never have done that if I hadn't gone through what I had gone through. So it just made sense to me. And like I said, the hardest part of anything that, going through such a negative experience for so long, the hardest part of that is to find gratitude in it. That is not an easy thing because I did, like you're saying, like your question was, I did struggle and go, oh, well, I wasted all that time,
Hmm.
all those years. That was a waste. I can't get it back. But you know what? That is not true because God will redeem the time.
Hmm.
And now I say the rest of my life will be the best of my life.
Definitely. You know,
And that's
I've got a way
how
of
I feel.
looking at struggles that the things you've gone through is
Hmm.
like a pair of shoes. You
Okay.
know, you go to the gym and all, and I'm almost 300 pounds. So everybody's gonna giggle when I talk about running. But if you have a
Hmm.
brand new, beautiful pair of running shoes, first time you just get out there and you try and go all out, it's gonna tear your feet up.
Yes.
But for the first 10 years of our marriage, I had an old pair of Asics. They were the ugliest shoes in the world, but they were so comfortable, and they had been through everything. So just because something's shiny and hadn't been through the mud and hadn't been tossed over here or left in the trunk of the car or whatever, don't mean it's the best thing.
That is exactly right.
And that's one way I look at it. You got your scars. Yeah, you got your scars, and they're kind of what make you give you a little bit of character and make you who you are.
Absolutely. I love that mentality. And I actually, I did. I talked about that on one of my blogs this week. I sure did.
Nice.
I was like, yep, those scars, they are reminders and they're just there to show us, hey, you went through that, but you lived,
Hmm.
and it's made us who we are, right?
Definitely.
And look at you. See, you're doing this podcast and here I am, your guest, and you're out there sharing so much with the world. Look, you're changing the world. And see, I love that and admire that about you. This is what we are here to do, to bring positivity. And so when I get to relate to another soul like yours, it's such a gift. It really is. Like it makes me like I'm emotional right now just thinking about like what we're out here doing
Hmm.
because, we're not feeling sorry for ourselves and just crying, and just, oh, poor me, poor Brad, poor Tammy. Nobody knows the trouble we've known. Here we are saying, right? We're
Where's my
saying,
tin cup? Here it is right here. I
Right?
got to do it on the bars.
Yeah. I love it. There's my stupid, obnoxious laugh. Oh my goodness. But yes, we're out there trying to pour from ourselves and just fill everybody else up. And so I admire you for that. And I'm grateful that you have your show and that you're out there doing this.
Well, I tell
And
you, oh,
I'm
wait.
thankful that you had me on here.
I tell you, we had talked a little bit before. My thing. I'll do it real short because my listeners have
Hmm.
probably heard it, or anybody that knows me knows it. 5 years ago, August 19th of 2015, I was working on the ambulance. I'm a full-time paramedic, and
Okay.
I started stuttering. And long story short, my partner took me over to the hospital because we weren't very far from one, and they found out I had 2 strokes.
Oh my gosh.
And suddenly, I couldn't work on an ambulance again because of all that. And my stutter, the way it was, it still comes back once in a while. I won't imitate it because sometimes it kind of sticks if I do.
Hmm.
I sounded almost like the water boy. I would
Oh,
repeat things, just the first words of sentences and things, and it was, you couldn't, it was bad. I hated it. And it got me really mad about a lot of things in life, and that's when me and God wrestled, because
yeah.
I grew up Southern Baptist. I was there. If the doors were open, I usually was the one that opened them when I was a kid, and all of a sudden, I couldn't do any of the things that made me me. I couldn't get on the ambulance and help people. I couldn't. A week after I got out of hospital, a friend of mine actually went down to the sponsor of this show, Joe's Underground, with me. I said, I'm getting on stage because Drew Lynch had just started, becoming popular. And I said,
Yeah.
if this guy can do it, I can do this. And I got up there and I lasted about 30 seconds, and I
Oh.
just had to go. And I'm
Oh.
like, great. And I can't use these skills. I can't use my voice. And everybody kept telling me God has a plan. And I got so sick of hearing that. And I
Mm.
mean, I actually, you know, just stopped talking to some people over that because every time they saw it, God has a plan for you. And me and God had a lot of fighting to do.
Yeah.
And
I understand.
and that was just miserable. And when the stutter went away, it it was kind of, you know, it was a wonderful thing. And eventually, I was able to get back into medicine. I worked in an ER up here for a while, and then now I'm back here on the ambulance in time for the pandemic. Yay!
Yeah. Wow. That is amazing.
But I'm getting
And
to do
listen to
the
you.
yeah I'm
Here
going
you are. You had this stutter, and then you're a podcast host. Wow.
yeah I do character videos. I do stand up. I do. This morning I got up and a friend of mine had his doctor alias was Dr. Jebekiah Bajiner.
My goodness.
Yeah, and I was sitting here and I said, I need to find out if I can use this name. And I called him. I said, look, man, can I use Jebekiah? He's like, by all means. And I recorded and actually put on my Facebook about a 30-second PSA about COVID-19.
Hmm.
I think we're on Facebook. If check it out, you will love it. It's a beautiful thing. But and looking back, I had a lot of plans. I was going to open a barbecue restaurant down there where I'm from.
Uh-huh.
And through all this, my wife got a job offer up here near Atlanta that we couldn't turn down.
Wow.
So we came up here, and who knows? Because if that hadn't happened, the road might have been different.
Exactly. I mean, that's amazing. It's amazing to hear your story and see what God has done in your life. And here's the beautiful thing that I just heard about everything you said. It was just, like what I was talking about earlier. I was just like, I wasted all this time. And I was thinking about that as you were telling me everything, like, oh, I lost this. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. But God brought you back full circle and restored every bit of it.
Yeah.
And that gives me so much hope, Brad, to hear that. Like literally I'm fighting tears to hear that in your life because I'm not there yet.
Mm.
I'm not on the other side yet. I haven't had all the restoration yet. I'm
Oh,
still going
there
through
isn't
it.
another side. There's not one. And I know that sounds bad and sounds negative, but the thing
Yeah.
is, the strokes brought up a lot of ticks. You know,
Yes,
I
yes.
still have the stutter that comes back. I have
Hmm.
days where I cry at everything. I
Of
mean,
course.
literally, I cry all day long over anything. I have days where I have rage that I can't control. You know, I control it physically because I know. I mean, just a lot of different things. And I'm the poster child for PTSD between the strokes and the PTSD, 25, years of it starting to bubble up while I was sitting at home after this. Um, I learned how to control a lot of it. And
Absolutely.
and the thing is, like I say, to me, if you come out of it and there is another side, it's kind of like that history class. You'll forget a lot of things eventually, and if you forget it, you're doomed to repeat it.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I think some of the things that you've been through and the things I've been through, there's no way you forget it because I'm like you. I actually wake up and have, flashbacks and nightmares. That's PTSD, part of my thing as well.
mhm.
We have our triggers. And
Yep.
I'm like you. There will be something that will trigger it and I break, like I'm the same way. I'll see something and it triggers mine and,
Mhm.
I'm done. I'm in the shower, I'm crying and I just shared about that, like I've had to just get in the shower and just scream. I didn't have words, I would just that's a place I could be alone with God and just let it out, but
Mhm.
it is part of it. You have to let it out. And God is a big God. He can handle it. He can handle our pain. He
Mhm.
can handle all of it, but He's big enough to carry us through it. And I'll be excited for all of the restoration like you've had in your life, where you've been restored and been able to speak now and be back on the ambulance and help others and all of that. I'm excited to see, where God takes me with all of that in
He's
my
gonna
life
he's gonna
too.
take you somewhere. Think of that Fiero, and if you could see it today, think of it as you're getting the motor fixed now. You're getting the transmission
Oh,
fixed and getting tires put on it. But keep those
yes,
dents in it because they give it character.
I
It's
love
gonna
that.
run great, but that Fiero's gonna be ugly forever because they were horrible cars, but they were great too.
And it will be playing Boston.
Outstanding, outstanding. Well, Tammy,
Absolutely.
give us your Facebook page and all, and anything
Yes,
else you want to put out there, you go on ahead and.
you guys can all find me on Facebook. My fan page and where I do my vlogs is at Tammy, Tammy. It's just a public fan page. I'm on Instagram, thank God it's today, and Twitter, thank God it's today, or TGIT. You can look up those hashtags on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and you can find me in those three places. YouTube is coming, and I've created the YouTube. I'm about to start uploading the videos there. And of course, the podcast is going to be called Thank God It's Today with Tammy. And we are in the process of getting that going as well. And those will be stories like yours and mine, where people can come on and share their stories of hope and inspiration and let people know how they've made it through tough times and give courage and hope to other people. And I just want to thank you, Brad Pitt, men, for having me. I can't get over that. I love it. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm so grateful and so honored to be here with you and your listeners.
Oh, I'm so happy you came on. I've had a good time. I've learned a lot, and you're welcome back anytime.
Oh, thank you. I would love that. And I can't wait to have you on my show as well.
I am looking forward to it.